Hey guys, welcome back to Rolling Acres Farm. Today is an exciting day. We're getting started on the garden. As you can see, I've already got started on the garden. Last weekend I was doing like a little test run with my little Massey, the Massey Ferguson 240, and the two-bottom plow. I'll throw in a picture here. But it was kind of an experiment. The tractor's a little bit too small for it, and I didn't have it dialed in exactly right with the pitch of it. You can see where it didn't turn over some of the stuff really good, but I think it'll work. It looks pretty rough now, but I got a secret weapon that'll fix that. Stand by and you'll see. All right, I just took the bucket off of the tractor, and now I gotta come in here and hook up to the pallet forks, get the pallet forks and the grapple out of the way. This thing is so hard to line up sometimes. These big utility tractors, its visibility is not the greatest when it's way out front and down low like. Not perfect, but I think it'll be enough to let me get it out of here. Hopefully. I'm gonna drop it on one of the dogs. All right. There we go. Well, probably guessed it at this point, but the secret weapon I've been referring to is this 8-foot wide tiller. It's made by Titan Attachments. If I'm not mistaken, they went out of business when they sold to Ironcraft. Nothing's changed. They didn't change anything about any of their implements. As far as I know, they're just underneath a different name now. All right, man. Come on, get out of here. Come on. Go, 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 go. Dogs are not cooperating today. My goodness. I know. That's all it takes. It's got to be just right. When you're working with big attachments like this, it's got to be just right. There's very little wiggle room. Get these. All right, got that one in. Phew. Now I'm about to back up some more. Let that one get in. This is where having two people comes in handy. You're going to go to work. If you have a tractor and you don't have one of these, you're missing out. All tractors have what's called a top link, all right, 3-point hitch. So you got your two lower arms, which is 2, and then the third one up top here to control the angle or the pitch of your attachment. Most tractors come with a manual one. So it's threaded. You have to spin it, twist it back and forth or round and round to get it the angle that you want. But especially when you're working with big equipment like this, heavy stuff, that's hydraulic, it really helps a lot. So I've got this tractor happens to have 2 rear hydraulic remotes on it. So I've got one of them plumbed in for this hydraulic ram here. But with a cab tractor, there's a whole lot of getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out. But with this tractor, this one Massey Ferguson 4708, it has controls here on the rear that you can raise and lower your lower lift arms from outside of the tractor, which helps. However, I can't control the hydraulic top link from outside of the tractor. So what I'm getting ready to do is get back in the cab and operate the hydraulics to let that ram come in and out, and M's gonna hook it up for me or get it lined up, pin it in. All right, here we go. I'm gonna try to, I don't know if you can see this or not. There we go. A little more?
No, I just try to get the ball there and then come back to the middle of it.
There we go. Perfect. Lift it up. Pull it out here in the open where I can get a better look at it and make sure everything is hooked up properly. And get it leveled or evened up. Left to right. That ought to do it. All right, see those pins? Thank you. So that's pretty close. What I'm looking at now is getting it even left to right. My tractor has an 8-foot width stance, I guess, spacing between tires. That's why I went with an 8-foot tiller. Number one, the tractor has enough horsepower from the engine and back to PTO to handle this big of a tiller. But I wanted to cover up my tracks. So when you're tilling, and you'll see here in just a little bit when I get started, it covers my tracks up really good instead of leaving big grooves or ditches or whatever you want to call it. Ruts, that's the word I'm looking for, from the tires. So it covers the whole width of the tractor. These pins got to be adjusted. Take these out. That's what allows the lower lift arms to swivel left or right. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna push this over because I'm looking at it from the back. Just eyeball it. It's a little bit offset to the left. So I'm gonna go in here. I may need to get my beautiful assistant to give me a little hand again. Pushing that in a little bit so I can pin it in place. Let's see. Should swing pretty easy. Oh yeah, see? Is that lined up pretty good right there, you think? From this to this? Or does it need to go to the right some more? Good. Make a quick minor adjustment. Pin it in place. Boom. See? And it locks it right where it's at. Oh yeah, that's good. Put this pin in, lock it down, double check everything. Especially when I'm videoing, I find myself doing exactly what I was afraid of before I started this YouTube journey. Kind of getting in a hurry and maybe missing a couple of steps because sometimes I'm worried more about getting good footage and capturing everything and explaining things over the job that I'm doing. So bear with me. I'm gonna do a double check, make sure everything's pinned and locked in good. Safety third. There we go. Had to get that lower lift arm locked into place. See how that the hydraulic top link allows you to tilt it and get it just right. All right. This is not a fast operation at all. You know, it goes real slow. Matter of fact, I'm in low range, first gear. So real quick, I thought I'd explain the methods by which to turn up ground. One way, and I guess you would commonly refer to it as the traditional way or the old school way or whatever, it's a several step process. One being plow, which is what you see here is what I've done. Plowing just turns the ground over, all right? It ideally it's supposed to put the top layer down on the bottom. That way it turns into biomass and nutrients under the soil, and it gets the soil turned over so you can work it better. So step one with that is to plow, which is what we're looking like now. Then you could run a disc over it. I'll show you a disc at work at some point. I know that's what I use on my food plots, but you'll disc that up. There's just a series of discs that run over with the tractor and chops this up and makes it finer. What I just mentioned a while ago, that this is a slow process. Disking is a fast process, but you have to go over it multiple times. Down and back, down and back, down and back, down and back to get it to chop it up. Then you can run a cultipacker and a bunch of other different things. Soil pulverizer, cultivators, a lot of different things, depending on your soil type and what kind of outcome and product, I guess you could say, of the soil that you want. I'm running this tiller. Like I said, it's just like any other kind of walk behind tiller. Bless you. Any kind of tiller you got, just on a larger scale. So, like I said, it's a very slow process. I'm in low range, first gear, so it lets the tiller have the opportunity to process all the soil and the grass and the weeds and everything and chop it all up real nice. So it's slow, but you get a better product at the end. Okay, and it doesn't take as long as having to hook up multiple attachments. So stick around, watch this thing work. All right, everything is ready to go. Now, this is my PTO. This is what will engage the tiller. Turn that on. See it? She's spinning. This particular tractor, like I said, this is a Massey Ferguson 4708. Love this tractor. This has a button where I've got it preset to bring it up to the particular RPMs of 540 RPMs. It's just a one touch. Listen. See? Now I got it set there. You can see it's running about 542, 543. Got it set a little bit higher because once it gets in the ground, it'll bring it down a little bit. Let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, working nice. Since I did run the plow over it first, like I said, I was just doing that to kind of play around a little bit with the other little tractor, see what it would do. It's gonna be kind of rough. As you can see, look at the difference where it's been plowed and then what the tiller does. Now, I'm not happy with that because it's not even, but it will be after I make a couple of passes on it. Testing 1, 2, 3, this thing on. Yeah, like I was just saying, this is plantable right now. It's just not pretty. All right, I'm a little OCD when it comes to turning ground. Because it's kind of hilly. I'll try to level it out. Smells good though. Fresh soil. This is the wrong side.
To celebrate, we're offering our $68 deals. Get our $68 early bird AC tune-up special, or just need Freon to get you cooling. Get $68 off per pound. If your system is struggling, don't wait for it to fail on the hottest day of the year. Upgrade today.
Get her lined up and make the outside pass this time.
Rebates on
I'm doing is following the lines that I did with when I plowed it. I haven't measured this. I don't know how big this garden is, but I'm guessing it's about, what did I say last night, about 40 feet wide and about 100, maybe about 100 feet long. Probably more area than we need, but we are going to be planting some things that vine and like to crawl along the ground, like we got pumpkins, watermelon, cantaloupe. What was that one thing? Zucchini. Yeah. So we're going to really space our planting out to have them, give them plenty of room to spread out. Got the space, might as well use it. Low spot. After I make the second pass, it'll really powder it up nicely. This tiller, I've got it set to where it's going about 8 inches deep, which is plenty. Smell that? I gotta adjust the slip clutch. Started spinning on me a little bit. I don't know if I've got all the wrenches with me to do it. I'm taking this off because this is just a shroud or a protective cover for the PTO on the tiller, and I've got to adjust the slip clutch. As I was tilling just a minute ago, I looked back and noticed the tiller, when it's in the ground, the tines weren't spinning, and that means the clutch was slipping. That's why it's called a slip clutch, obviously. And what that means is because a slip clutch is a safety mechanism on a lot of your attachments that you can tighten down and adjust the proper tension for mostly for ground contact implements. And what the slip clutch does is spins freely or slips instead of a constant solid engagement to protect the PTO housing on the tractor. Instead of forcing it to work, basically keeps you from breaking something. Parts are very expensive on this stuff, but it's a whole lot cheaper to fix something on an implement as opposed to breaking something on the tractor. So anyway, minor inconvenience, but not a big deal. I bought this tiller about 3 years ago, I guess, maybe 3, and it comes from the factory, or well, this one did at least, came from the factory. Adjusted, the clutch was adjusted all the way out, and so I had to make the initial adjustments. Oh, nice dirt dauber nest when I first bought it. Well, this is your slip clutch. Yeah, it's really hot because it was slipping. There's a clutch in there, a clutch disc in there, and these springs, I don't know if you can see that or not, these springs here need to be tightened down, which pinches this plate and this plate together, causing friction on the clutch disc or plate in the middle of it there. So these two are spinning independently instead of shifting that power back here to the gearbox. So all I gotta do is hope I've got the right size. That's not. Watch. That's not either, right? That's good. It's perfect. Now I'll probably get to go back to the barn. Why do I even have these in here? I don't know. Yeah, that's awesome. To the barn we go. Be right back. Let's see here. That doesn't look bad. I was worried about the soil. Yeah, it'll be good. All right. I have no idea what size it is. I don't remember. But we'll just grab a few that look to be close. These are my granddaddy's old tools here. 3/4 and a 5/16. Maybe 9/16. No, 5/8, 9/16. All right, it's got to be one of those three. Minor setback. We'll get it fixed. This is what happens with me, right? I need one specific tool. I go get 3. Surely that's the right size. Nope. None of them works. None of them work. But now I know what sizes don't work. I go back and get what does. All right. All I did right there was just came in here and tightened down. There's 4 tension springs on these bolts here. It puts pressure on the clutch disc in there. So I just went around, firmed them up. Don't tighten them down really tight because again, it needs to be able to do its job and spin freely once it gets to a certain amount of pressure or tension. So the only one way to really test it is to fire it up, take a test run, see how it does. If it keeps turning and spinning, you're good. It probably goes without saying, but anytime you're working on a piece of equipment like this with your tractor or the PTO with a ground penetrating implement, turn the tractor off. You know, don't settle for just, well, I'll just turn the PTO switch off or I'll disengage the PTO, because anything could happen, and it's bad news if you get wrapped up back here. Remember, safety third. There we go. The second pass, second or third, whatever. Basically, the first pass when you're tilling is I don't know what you call it, the hardest. You know, you got to go the slowest because it's virgin ground. And by the way, virgin ground, I think this is the first time this ground in this particular area of the farm has ever been worked like this. Well, I can't say ever. I don't know. You know, it's always just been to just growing grass for my granddaddy's cattle. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I can tell you that it's been at least 40 years at the least. I don't have any memories of it being tilled up like this. All right, like I was just saying, this is the first time this ground here has been worked up, disc, tilled, or anything, to my knowledge, in at least 40 years, maybe longer than that. I have a childhood memory, and I was little, because I just barely remember it. I think I was the only grandchild at the time, so that would have been at least 41 years ago. If not the next cousin in line, Tim, he may have been around, but he was a baby. But anyways, a long time ago. This road that we live on here, it used to be gravel, just an old gravel road. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was gravel all the way up until sometime when I was in high school. But anyway, I have a memory of walking down this gravel road with my granny and granddaddy. It's somewhere up on the right, to my right, as we were walking down the road. It was kind of a higher area. He had, that particular year, he was growing some watermelon. And this is the only spot that it could have been, because I know we were on the road and I know it was up higher. So that kind of makes sense because of this hill right here down where it comes up from up off the road. But anyway, story time with Dave. It's pretty good. That's very, like what I was saying, Like this can, you know, we can put a plant seed in that right now, no problem. But I'm going to run sideways against the direction I've been going. Just kind of bring some of this dirt up and even it out, smooth it out a little bit. And that second pass will get something like that. It'll bust it up and get rid of some of this grass and dead mulch stuff from left over from last year. It'll turn it under. Be good. So let's go this way with it. So gonna have to just make do with this, which is fine. So basically what I'm saying, the contour of the land was it's kind of shaped kind of like a, I don't know, rainbow or horseshoe, or when you're looking at it from long ways. So when I'm going over when I was going sideways, the front of the tractor would start going off the side of the hill basically, and it was raising the tiller up too high, and then vice versa, when I was going up, it would cause the tiller to dig in a little bit too much. Wasn't getting the result I was looking for. So basically this is going to have to do. And I'll have to say, it looks pretty good. Well, the slip clutch adjustment is exactly what it needed. It hasn't had a problem since I made that little fix. Now I'm just doing what I call a cleanup pass. It didn't work very good going side to side. And I keep saying after every pass, oh, it's perfect, we can plant it. You can plant it right now. And we could. Like after the first pass, it looked rough, but it was tilled up enough to be able to plant. But man, I got some OCD when it comes to this stuff. And I'm on my third pass on one row, and boy, it sure powders it up nice. Oh boy, it's gonna be hard to not go back over the, okay, maybe I need to go right, yeah, I need to go down the middle one more time. just one more time. Because I mean, look at this row that we just did. And then look at that one. It's like that. No, that's pretty. That looks good. That looks good, but it can look a lot gooder. All right, and I'm fixing to make it do just that. Why not? Oh yeah, that's much better. Yeah, 3 passes is what it is. Turns out to be what it needs for my preference anyway. I just like the way it looks. It'll be easier to work. Next step, when we get done with this next pass, we're going to hop the side by side, run back over to the barn. I'm going to get my seed spreader, fertilizer spreader, the same one I used to frost seed the clover. I'm going to throw maybe about, the next step is to measure this garden spot. I'm only guessing it's about 40 feet by 100 feet. It may not be that big. But I want to take a good measurement of it to see exactly how many square feet it's going to be, and that'll help me know how much fertilizer to apply. So after this, we're going to take a measurement so I can get the square footage, go to the barn, get my spreader, come back and put a layer of fertilizer on it. Yeah, the fertilizer I'm going to put down is just 10-10-10. It's just your general all-purpose fertilizer. That's good for gardens. Strong enough to work, but not hot enough to burn anything. I did do a soil sample out here last year. I say out here, I took soil samples of every field on the farm, sent it in, and everywhere, which didn't surprise me, was a little bit, pH was a little bit too low, so it's too acidic. All right, we're at 30 feet right there, and well, that's cool. Even has oh, there it goes. Has a big warning sign right here on it that says stop, and I didn't stop. Just like me. All right, 30 feet plus. We'll call it 11-ish. So I was right on. I said 40 feet. So So we'll go with that. We'll go 40 by, it'll take me a while to do this run here, but it doesn't have to be exact. Each bag of fertilizer that I got covers 5,000 square feet. And I'm gonna put it on just because I know the soil is a little, the pH is a little low. I'm gonna go a little heavy. All right, there's 30. Help me keep track. Ow. 30. And another 30. Okay. So now we're at 60. I'm gonna be, look, my eyes might be calibrated. I don't know. I might be right on. All right. 60 feet. 30. Okay. 90 feet. No, that's gonna be more than 100. That was close. So we're at 90. Overstretch this thing. Where are we at? Okay, 36, 90 plus 30 is 120. Yeah, 120. So, I mean, we got a few extra feet. We're not going to use every single square foot. So, 125. So, we're going to go with 40 by 125. So, to get the square footage on that, multiply that. And that's going to be exactly, I have no idea. I need to use my calculator. All right, let's see here. Gosh, all the flies. So 125 times 40. Are you kidding me? That is exactly 5,000 square feet. Huh. I did that on purpose. So one of these bags will cover 5,000 square feet. However, since I know the soil is low on pH based on the soil sample, it came up a little bit because I had a lime truck and spreader come out and spread lime on the fields last year, which helps raise the pH. But honestly, I don't remember if he did this field. I don't think he did, because the reason I was doing that is to raise the pH for better grass quality. That I drilled native grass seed last year to help the pastures out with better grass, better quality grass, and to suppress some of the wild weeds and things that are growing. But this field here is really not a good hay field, because it's so hilly. It's pretty steep in a couple of spots that my hay guy doesn't even do half of it. Which is another reason why we chose this spot for a garden, because it doesn't really get used for anything else. So with that being said, I know the pH is low. 5,000 square feet is what it calls for. One bag of fertilizer, like I said, it's 10, 10, 10, is what it calls for, or what it will require. But I'm gonna do a bag and a half just because I know the pH is low. So let's go get the spreader. All right. Just gonna grab the trusty old Earthway spreader, over the shoulder spreader. This is what I used. If you saw that episode of, like I said a while ago, frost seeded the clover in my food plot. That's what I use. So it can be used for seed or fertilizer. So let's go spread it. Watch your finger. All right. There. Let's see. You're gonna want to put it. Yeah. Yep, just like that. I got you got this.
I'm ready, guys.
All right.
short arms.
I was gonna say, yeah, your little short arms, you may not be able to reach the handle.
Okay. All right. Which way does it go? Yeah. Can we tighten the strap so I can reach it?
Hang on.
Don't make fun of me. Get it.
Oh, poor Ems. She's got such short arms.
I have T-Rex arms.
T-Rex. She calls them T-Rex arms.
And this is now.
And she
so
is,
wonky.
yeah, it's a little wonky. You gotta do two things at once. There you go. You gotta use your left hand to open the hopper or the gate, whatever. And then, of course, spread it around.
Am I going too slow or too fast?
It's hard to tell. A little too slow.
Okay.
And then watch your rotation speed too, the way you're not slinging a bunch of it out here in the grass. It wouldn't hurt anything, but, well, yeah, it wouldn't hurt a thing. We got plenty. We got more than enough fertilizer. All right, we had a nice little surprise.
What is that?
It's a camera.
Camera?
Can you wave at it? So our neighbor friends came to watch us work in the garden.
Easier when it's on, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she said it's much easier when she's wearing it right. I take full responsibility for that. You know how she's got it figured out now. She was wearing it, the spreader on the wrong side, and that was my fault. You know how when you look at yourself in the mirror and things are like backwards? Well, that's what I was doing. I was looking at her and helping her get it put on, and I had her put it on the wrong side. That's why she looked all wonky earlier. Now she's got it down. We went ahead and when she gets done here, when she gets done with this, that's gonna make 2 bags, 2 40-pound bags, basically twice as much as the bag called for, or the size, square footage called for. But again, it won't hurt anything, because I know this soil needs some amendments. So I think it'll be good. Say bye.
Yeah.
Say bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, I changed my mind. I wasn't going to till it in, the fertilizer. We spread the fertilizer, got it put down. You'll want to kind of eyeball off to the right or left to where the ground has been tilled or not, and then raise it up once you get about to the same area. Boom, there you go. Perfect. All right. So since we put 2 times the amount of fertilizer, I've decided to go ahead and till it in. That way it'll work itself down. Excuse me, down into the soil. So that's all we're doing now. We're not necessarily tilling the ground. We're just mixing the fertilizer into the dirt and practicing with a new operator. All right, well, M's making the final pass for the tiller work. Just working in that fertilizer. And after that, we're gonna go over and break out the pressure washer for the first time this year and wash the tractor and the tiller. I made the mistake one time of putting the tiller away for the year without washing it. That was a mistake. That dirt sat on there like concrete. So I learned my lesson that time. So we're gonna pull over here and get it all washed up here in a little bit. So thanks for sticking around with us today, and stay tuned for some upcoming videos. We're gonna keep keep showing the progress of the garden. You know, this time of year, it's really hard to judge when to put stuff in the ground because of the weather. A day like today, for example, will be perfect. I don't know what the temperature is right now, but it's sunny, it's warm, it's probably mid 70s, low 70s maybe. But just yesterday, it was raining and it got down to like 40 degrees, I think, last night. So we're still, I mean, I feel like we're out of the danger of a frost. I'm pretty sure we're not going to have any more frost this year, but it's still, we just get anxious, right? We just get anxious and get in too big of a hurry. So we're good to get the soil tilled up and fertilizer put in, and maybe in another week, maybe by next weekend, we'll get the plants in the ground. We're going to be planting cantaloupe, watermelon. I know I'm going to forget some of it. 19 or 20 different things. She likes peppers, so all kind of peppers. I don't like them, but she does, so have at it. So peppers, tomatoes, different types of tomatoes, okra, squash, zucchini, cucumbers, a lot of herbs, basil, parsley, rosemary, thyme. I don't know what all. Like I said, we counted up last night. I think there's 19 different things we're going to try to plant, or we're going to plant and then try to grow. Thanks for watching.